see if they
Aren't you
want
coming
to.
tonight?
No, we pushed them off the links. All right, good evening, Litchfield, excuse me, good evening, Litchfield, and welcome to the February 13th meeting of the Conservation Commission. We'll start off with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, apologies, we're having some IT issues, but we're working through those. Start off with
Rewired the room.
roll call. Joan,
Joan McKibben, secretary.
Jason Brennan, vice chair.
Harry Minzigian, member.
Matt Hoffman, chair.
Fred French, member.
George Labash, alternate.
All right, so we're missing John Brunel, who's not going to be with us this week as our selectman's rep, and Michael Croto is not going to be able to join us tonight. So, George, would you be willing to be a voting member tonight?
Sure.
In place of John.
In place of Michael. All right, it doesn't appear that we have anybody here for public input, so we can jump into the agenda. Jason, would you mind pulling up the agenda?
Yep.
On the screen? So the first item we have is we received a notification for changes to RSA 482. Joan, would you mind giving us a quick update on
I was
that?
afraid you were gonna say that. No, I can't. I sent it to you, but didn't I?
Yeah, so it's basically, that's the ordinance for wetlands impact, right?
Wetlands, applications to the state,
Yeah,
and now you can do it online?
yeah, so
Applicant do it online, and I'm sure we'll get a copy.
Yep. So that just means they streamline the process, so instead of doing a formal, a written submittal now, there's a means to do that online. And is there restrictions on who can submit that?
Well, anybody that's impacting a dredge and fill on a wetland, they could do that online now, so it's mostly engineering companies or private individuals if they're there doing a dredge and fill, or any work in a wetland.
All right, then the next item on the agenda is we just received a notification from Liberty Gas. They want to put a gas main across 3A that'll cross the river, then come up onto 3A and then head up to Manchester from there. So it's a pretty significant pipeline that's going to cross a few of the areas that can have wetlands impacts. So that's something that we've got to take a look at the plan and provide some input for.
So there's a February 25th meeting here at 9 a.m. Somebody from Liberty Utilities will be here to explain the project. I am fortunately out of town that week, and I believe that, well, there'll be 3 stream crossings, and I believe that I've heard that they're boring under the streams, Watts Brook, Colby Brook, and Nessun Brook. So, and then I did send you the Fish and Game pictures that they thought these animals might be impacted. I would be interested in knowing, and I'll give Kim Kleiner some questions for that meeting, if they're gonna have somebody on site through the whole project, especially in the spring, to look for, or if these animals occur, what they know what they should do because the Fish and Game is telling them what they should do. But if someone is there besides the construction people. And I have they're crossing just north of Cummings Drive down the Eversource easement.
Yep.
To go across under the river.
Yeah.
So Matt, I looked through the plans. I spent
Good.
probably an hour looking through the plans. And if you don't mind, I'll give it the
Yeah,
board a little bit
please.
of a review. I bet you George might have looked at them as well.
I did not,
Oh, okay.
sorry.
Here's the short story. So what they're looking to do is they're looking to run a gas line from the airport to Budweiser. It's gonna end up coming in, coming down from the airport, banging a left at Irving and going down Route 3A.
The west side of 3A, right?
Nope, it zigzags, goes across the road multiple times. The pipe is a 12-inch distribution main. So there are three types of pipes. There's a transmission main, big pipe, distribution main, pipes in the street, and then a service line goes from the street to the house. This is a 12-inch distribution main. It runs down 3A from the Manchester line, and then, as Joan mentioned, once it gets down toward Cummings, it cuts across the power lines there and goes over the river into Merrimack,
Under the river.
under the river, yep.
Yep.
The location is just about 100% in the Route 3A right-of-way. So they're not cutting across any private property except for the power line easement in Litchfield. Most of it is off the road, off Route 3A, so they're not gonna be impacting the pavement too much. There are a couple of spots where they will be, impacting the pavement whenever it crosses a driveway, number one. And then there's a couple spots on 3A where they actually have to come out into the road versus stay off to the side of the road. It does crisscross a couple of times going down 3A,
Well,
Joan, and I'll show a map of that
yeah,
in
show
a
it, because
second.
on this map it doesn't. Go ahead.
Yep, we'll take a look just to confirm. Conservation land impact, it does not go in front of Morris Falls, but it does go in front of the river access, and it does go in front of Parker Park. So it's gonna be on the Parker Park side of Route 3A, it's gonna be on the river access side of Route 3A. It actually switches over to the other side at the muster field and goes in front of the old fire station and then cuts back.
So that's actually gonna impact Parker Park and the community garden there.
Yep, both of them. And here's a, not perfect, but I took a look at the plans and I kind of superimposed them onto the map here. So when you're up in the north part of town, you can see that it stays to the east side of Route 3A. When it comes down Route 3A, let me get to a spot here. Here is Moores Falls, right where my mouse is. It still stays on the other side of Moores Falls. And then once it gets to Edwards and where Charbonneau's truck building is there, it goes across the other side of the street. And then it goes on the St. Francis side, all the way down on the St. Francis side, going by Mel's. And then it gets in front of the Charbonneau's fields, and it's still on the river side of Route 3A. And then once it gets to Midway, by Passaconaway, it jumps to the other side. And then it jumps back it's still along the golf course. And then as you're going down, there's Hillcrest right there. And then let's get to the river access property, which is this one. It stays on the river access side of Route 3A. When I zoom in here, it's not perfect, but I think they're put it like right behind the phone poles, what the phone poles are.
I
So
thought they're trying to stay in the state's right of way.
it all is, yep, all in the state right of way. Now, this where it kind of gets a little bit interesting. Sorry for jumping around. Once you get to about the library, it jumps to the other side of the road. So you might ask yourself why it's doing that. Well, because the water line jumps to the other side, from one side of the road to the other side of the road in the same spot.
Follows it.
Are they on
doing
the
it
opposite side of the
Other
water
side.
line?
Yep,
Okay.
opposite, so they crisscross right there. Then it comes down, it goes in front of the old church. It goes in front of, like Carl Frank's house, and then it actually looks like it zigzags around his wall, and that's where I think there's gonna be some pavement impact around here. And then once it gets to Rich LaSalle's house across from the baseball fields, it jumps back. And once it jumps back, it comes down, so there's the community garden right there in Parker Park. It stays on the community garden in Parker Park side.
So that's, like, that whole area, that's, I mean, it's just road and then ditch immediately, how,
Might be able to eradicate some of our poison ivy
Yeah.
issues.
So the issue for us is, especially on a bigger stream like Nessenkeg, with them, I'm sure they have people that know what they're doing, but when the guy comes on the 25th, we really need to have,
Yeah, there's turtles definitely in that banking.
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw signs of it
well, yeah, so.
last spring,
But they'll dig it up, they'll put it back, they'll.
yeah.
You're talking maybe a 3 foot wide,
But deep.
It's 3 feet plus deep, it said on the plan.
Yeah,
So when it hits the, a couple of the stream crossings, including Nessenkeg right here, they're going to be doing, you'll see on directional drilling.
yeah.
So they're basically gonna tunnel, it's trenchless, so they're basically gonna tunnel underneath the stream and then come back the other side.
So
And
they're
that's
not
like-
going over the bridge, they're going
Under
under.
the water.
Yep,
So they don't have to do coffer dams or anything, they just let it run? and-
it's, it's a trenchless technology, so they're kinda using a
Directional.
machine to
They
go
did that
down.
Further down.
Yeah, it's like, we use it for water pipes, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's pretty common practice, so they're digging down through there, and it's basically like pulling the pipe through.
Now, the important issue, let me just interrupt him for a second. They're just applying for their alteration of terrain permit, so this is just in the beginning stages. This is gonna be a while.
Somewhere in there, it said like 2026, 2027.
Yeah.
And then it hugs down the west side of Route 3A, and then once it gets to the power lines, it starts cutting across. This area in here is the area that, Joan well knows that's where a lot of potential threatened species are.
Well, there's a huge wetland right there that feeds into that little pond where the blue line ends to the
Yep.
north. And so I'd be interested to see how they're,
So is it supposed to be buried the whole way, or would it be above ground for some
it'll
spots?
be, I think it could be buried in.
Be buried. When you look at the plans, I had a bunch of comments here.
Good.
All those red things are comments. Nothing crazy here, but when you take a look at the plans, if you give these to the fire department after it gets built, they need more to the plan. It goes right to the right of way. Unless you like study plans every single day, you got to pick up on where you're at physically at. And so I think they need to like expand see the frontages of houses and driveways and things like that. But let's take just like a quick look at the part where it goes under Parker Park, just to show you an example here.
And also that wetland on the power line.
Here's where it zigzags across the road in one area.
Is that
Oh, that's
showing,
right
is
in
that
front
showing, depth? There is
Yep.
the dotted line, the natural,
Yep, that dotted line is the ground elevation, existing grade. And so that's down,
so it's
Maybe 10
4 feet?
feet?
Is that, well, it's, looks like it's only like 4 feet.
or excuse me, not 4 feet. That's like 4 feet. Yeah, you're about 135 and they're burying it at about 130.
But, I thought it would be deeper.
So for the technology they're using to like drill under like the streams and stuff, what's the depth that they can do for that? It's not like, Nessenkeg Brook is very deep, but when we have the impacts by the power line.
I'm gonna show you right now. Show you. I've got it highlighted. So when you look at the profile part, you're gonna see a dip, like a U dip. Charles Bancroft. Okay, it goes to the other side of the road. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
right here.
So they're going down like 20 feet.
Yeah, so there's the grade right there. That's the elevation.
They're going from north to south?
This is
Yeah.
the north side and that is the south
No,
side.
the whole, the pipeline itself,
Yeah,
starting in the north end?
Yep,
that's the
Oh,
box
so
culvert
it's just
that you-
like 5 feet under the culvert, the existing culvert.
yep.
So it's not, okay.
Okay, this pipeline is supposed to supply gas to Budweiser?
I don't know where it's ending, it's going in that direction, but they're trying to make a loop, I believe.
So it's going to a gas line, the way I understand it. I think it's in the documentation. That's going from bringing additional supply from Manchester to a pipe that happens to be at the Budweiser plant. So I'm not saying it's
Oh.
directly impacting
Oh.
the Budweiser plant
Yeah, it's a hub.
specifically, but it's connecting in there to
Okay.
provide more supply, most likely provide more supply into the system.
So in Kim's email, she said that it was a pipeline and station. Is there gonna be a?
Well, could we look at that, before you get to the station, could we look at that? Do you have the horizontal for the wetland on the power line?
Yep. The stations are just there's a station in Manchester that, so the pipe is a 12-inch pipe. I think it runs at 180 PSI. If you want to serve properties, you need to step that down. And I think in the north end of town, I think it said it was about at 60 PSI.
Okay.
So in order to feed a house off of that, you need a regulating station.
Yep.
And there was one in Manchester. I did not see one in Litchfield.
Okay, yeah, I didn't notice it on the plan, but it was in the email Kim sent. It sounded like there was a station planned, and I didn't see
Well,
that.
she had a separate email or separate link for the station plan.
Oh,
Separate
I
link.
wouldn't mind taking a look at that.
So,
Anyways.
January, go ahead.
no,
Go ahead. Joan had something too.
Well,
go.
go ahead. What did,
So, in other words, they're gonna put this pipeline in to hook up to another pipeline
on the Merrimack side?
on the Merrimack side. So Litchfield, as it sees, really doesn't get any benefit off this.
Not right this minute, but
It-
I can't remember what the Liberty Utilities guy came, did you go to that meeting way back?
Yeah.
What he said?
We asked that question, and he said that it is possible for people in Litchfield to tap off of that line. That's what he said to us. It's not a transmission main, so it's something that could be tapped off of. But they didn't say, oh, we're gonna use this main to feed gas throughout the town. I think the question would be to them is, hey, if they build a new elementary school or they have the old elementary school, would it be possible to get gas
Yeah.
in there? That would be like
Okay,
The question.
and as far as construction goes, Litchfield doesn't, I mean, other than getting the pipeline through it, we don't reap any kind of benefit.
We don't get any monetary benefit.
Right.
It's all in the state's right of way, and I
Right.
guess the state approved the right of way 2 years ago, that they could use the right of way.
Oh,
yeah, I think
Yes, so
it's
state,
getting from point A to point B somehow.
the state owns 3A.
Where the
so-
bypass.
I think it's, to me, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good
I'm
thing.
an infrastructure
I
person,
agree.
but to me, it's a good thing because it could
Future,
potentially provide service here at some point.
yeah. I agree.
What did you
The,
want to
the,
see?
that wetland crossing on the power line.
Okay, so here's the right-hand turn going down 3A and then banging a right and going across the private property. So this right here, Joan, the green parts are probably your wetland crossings.
Right, it is.
So it's, yeah, 2,500 square feet of impact there, 1,100 there. Back up to that one over there. That's a
Big one
lot.
over here.
18,000 square feet of impact over there, up front.
Yep. course, it's on the map, Join, so let's go back over here. There
It looks like it's only 3 feet under the surface there.
So they're putting in a 20-foot wide easement.
Somewhere I saw a wildlife ramp, which I didn't know what the heck they were talking about.
I did read through all the wildlife stuff. I mean, in the narrative, it looked pretty good to me, like they,
Yeah, I'm sure Fish and Game's got their finger on this, but we should, it'll be, so is anybody available the 25th? Are you around 9
I
o'clock
don't-
on the 25th?
Yeah,
It's a week.
I'm
all over
out
the
of
country at
town
some point
that
down
week.
George,
Our
Tuesday,
retired
20
friends? Or-
are you,
Tuesday, 25th?
February 25th at 9 o'clock here?
What's the
Probably.
twenty-fifth?
It's a
I could.
Tuesday.
It's a
I could
Tuesday?
do it.
Yeah, if we could get a couple people,
could
then that'd
do
be,
it.
that'd be
If you
great.
two could come, and it's a presentation by Liberty Utilities,
Sure.
and,
Where's the
right
presentation?
here.
Right.
In here?
I think I'm in,
In
gonna
9?
be, I got some travel
9.
coming up. I think I'm in New Orleans.
Too bad.
Yeah, for work.
Yeah, I'm
City of
I
New
know.
Orleans.
I'm in Florida on vacation, so.
Oh, you were-
I'm in
I
Franconia.
was there last week. I did have some comments that are not,
But you should submit those
yeah,
to either Kim
I'll do
or-
that. I'll hand them over to Matt, and Matt can send them up the chain. These would be my request. I'm playing George. I feel like I'm George right now. You always have the
Reverse,
bull
right,
list.
George?
I came prepared.
Okay.
All the things that say request. If I were the town, I would request what they call QLA, quality level A or quality level B survey upon complete. When you survey utilities, the American Society of Civil Engineering has a grading score on that, A through D. And that's basically the accuracy of the utilities that you're mapping. If it's a quality level A, that means that when the pipe was in the ground, they basically jumped in the hole and GPS that pipe where it exactly sits. So it's not just some guy drawing a line down the map. It sits exactly within, centimeters horizontal and vertical.
And that would be critical for the, like you say, for the fire department.
Yeah, and they're gonna most likely be getting that, I would assume. But we would wanna make sure it's either quality level A or quality level B. Quality level B means the pipe was covered up, but they located it underneath the ground with location and then dropped paint on the ground and then they GPS the
So
points.
you're going to give us these
Yes,
list of concerns?
wanna make sure you have that, because the fire department has that. If it's labeled quality level A, when they look at a map, they know that it's accurate.
So who gets this document? Fire department or the town?
Most likely the,
Who would
You
need
mean the
that?
questions or the answers?
No, the answers.
The answers.
the town,
Would it be
so
the fire department or?
Well, the fire department.
fire department in the end would get a set
Okay.
of plans.
Got it.
And then just make sure that it's either QLA or QLB. That means that Bubba just didn't draw a line down the map saying the gas line is about in this location.
Like this,
Survey, I think that the survey either needs to be updated to include like more of the right-of-way, because, like I said, if someone that doesn't know how to look at plans looks at that, it's just kind of confusing, or have them put it on top of an ortho, like, do like a drone flight or something like that. I would actually ask them to fly the whole town, only costs like $5,000, and then drop it on top of that, so you can see it, so the fire department could see it accurately and be able to visualize it. The third thing is, and they're probably gonna do this anyway, so it's probably a no-brainer, they usually, on gas lines, they put what they call tracer wire on there. We just need to make sure that's there, so if they ever need to locate it underneath the ground, they get a wand to help do that. Indicator posts on the cross-country line, on the lines that's going through the right-of-way.
yeah,
We
you've seen
typically
that.
ask that they have indicator posts every 50 feet. So when you're driving down Route 93, you see those little posts on the side of the road that might have orange on the top?
Yeah.
There's fiber underneath those. So, and in Londonderry, you see the posts with the yellow at the top. Do that just so that, someone's not running a tractor and starts digging a hole in that location. Notify the threatened species, like you had mentioned before. If they see anything, let us know. And the only other one is the bottom one. I talked about, can businesses benefit from this? I only saw one gate valve that's at where it goes onto the easement. So by Cummings, I only saw one gate valve. So if they have to shut the line down, I only saw one in Litchfield, and that would be at that easement. The other one was, I think, way up in Manchester.
Well, wouldn't you think they would have one in the middle somewhere if they had to shut it down? Or,
I would think they'd be regulated every kilometer or something, they'd have to do something.
The regular is way up in Manchester, so it's going.
I mean, a regulation. that says
Regulation.
They'd have to put a.
so
put-
once they check it in Manchester at 160 PSI, you said,
Yep.
then it goes all the way down till, they don't check it again till it gets to that gate?
Yeah, so the way that I saw on the plan, now this is only a 60% design, so I don't know where they're at with it. But I only saw one gate valve in Litchfield.
Okay.
So I would hope they'd put a couple others in there just in case.
Given the earthquake activity
Yeah.
that we get in Litchfield, we need it.
Yep. The one gate valve, and let me just do a quick check here. It's where it turns right onto the easement.
But that's good to know, this is only a 60% design, I didn't realize that.
A lot of sheets. Right here. Okay, so, right there. Oh,
Oh, so that was at the very end?
shoot. It's at the very end.
April.
Proposed 8-inch ball valve with 8x8 fence.
So
Yep.
if there's a problem,
Well, we don't know yet, because like you said, it's 60% design, so, but that's a question that should come up.
I would just be interested to hear their thoughts on that. And if anybody in Litchfield were to ever be able to hook up to it, they would probably need a gate valve to.
And then would you have to bring the PSI down? Or
Yep,
have a
that's what
smaller
the
pipe?
regulator station would do. So, I'm not a gas expert, but I do a lot of gas work at work. But it would be interesting to hear these questions. But as far as like the stream crossing goes, the directional drilling is like pretty standard.
So I just forwarded the details for the meeting on the 25th.
Thanks.
Do you, George, you have all the plans and everything too? Is there?
I'm looking at them now, yeah.
Okay, so I just want to make sure you have all the.
Yeah,
the
there's
links,
so
but I
many
think-
sheets, it's hard to look at on the computer.
I'll send you mine because I kind of have the notes and I
Yep.
got things kind of marked up. The other, I think this is like the last thing, oh shoot, here it is. This is the Irving Station, the corner where the Irving Station is
In Manchester, right?
in Manchester. So, the line comes down here, bangs a left, and then bangs a right and goes down into Litchfield. This thing right here is another line tees off of it and goes into the regulator pit. That's the thing you were talking about. And then, see it drops to 60 PSI here
Oh,
from like 180. That then makes it, so you can basically connect your house
Yeah.
into it. It lowers the.
So no one can tap onto that main line without one of
They'd have
those
to add-
regulators.
They'd have to have some sort of regulating station.
Yep.
It's almost be the equivalent of like trying to, hitching a line up to your fire hydrant in front of your house and then bring it into your basement and then turn it on. They bring the pressure down. But yeah, that's it. So I'll send the PDF around because I've actually put the notes on the PDF. And if someone wants to take a look at it, that's cool.
So George and Fred, do you guys, anything else you guys need for the meeting?
I don't think so, as long as we have all of his
so
questions.
that meeting should, it's a technical review committee meeting, but I hope that she gets it on YouTube or on something so we can, that aren't here can watch it after.
Yeah, hopefully, I mean, we can request that it be recorded. That would be good.
I'll ask her tomorrow. Okay.
The last comment, sorry about this, is also maybe request when they go in front of Parker Park, you know, maybe they can pave a little apron there for us. They're gonna have to like do that anyway, because there's like a big rut when you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
in front
yeah.
of Parker Park, and maybe they can just help us out a little bit.
That and the community garden, that's pretty
Yeah.
tough there.
Well, they'll put any driveways back to what they were, or, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
Pave
this,
them so
this,
that people
these
can
are,
get in
these are
now.
all dirt, but maybe that's
Maybe
okay
they
as
can-
long as they build it up properly.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy to get in and out of the community garden now, if you have a high enough vehicle.
Yeah,
Might
it's,
look like
but
it's-
I mean, we got that questionable culvert that's through there, so.
I think that's all I got.
Good, that was good. More info than I had before.
All right, anything else on, the Liberty Gas Main before we move on? All right, the next item we had was, supply purchases. So I thought we already, did like we did last year to, put the approval for that for up to,
I don't think
Oh,
we
that
did
was
that
the end
last
of-
month.
That was the end of last year that we did it? Yeah.
we did to close out, so we need it for this year, so. Basically, we made a motion for that, the chair and vice chair can, approve purchases up to, what is it, $1,000?
Yep,
So, we just need a,
I'll do it.
yep.
Unless, George, you wanna do it?
No.
Okay. I make a motion to spend up to $1,000 out of the property maintenance line, which I think is $1,000. Out of the property maintenance line, to support purchase of supplies, including gas, PPE, lawnmower supplies or tractor supplies, and other related supplies necessary to maintain our property.
My hardware cloth that I didn't buy last year.
I'll second it.
All right, a motion by Jason, seconded by, Harry. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 6-0-0. All right, the next item I had was the, town academy. So the town's putting together, basically some classes for the town to educate them on all the, boards and commissions and committees in town, to give us an opportunity to, share with the town, what we've done. They've asked that Conservation Commission, participate in one. Sounds like we have an open slot. I forget the date. It's sometime in March. I believe it's Tuesday evenings.
Yes.
So there's one slot open, and Kim Kleiner was asking that, if Conservation Commission can do a joint session with the rec committee for that. I think it'd be pretty simple, right? We just gotta tell them, the town, all the good things we've done and the stuff that we're planning, so probably, you know, we just have to prepare a 10-slide deck to be able to, present. So I think that'd be a good idea, and I'd be more than happy to do that on behalf of the commissioner. If there's others folks that would like to, participate, you're obviously more than welcome. So, everybody in favor of that?
Sure.
All right. All right, I'll let Kim Kleiner, know.
Thanks.
Sure. All right, old business, we have the Moore's Falls sidewalk update. I don't think we really have,
Yes, I do.
we do have an update. All right.
I have a map. I can get that off to Stephen Walker tomorrow or Monday and, tell him
That one right there?
Ah, okay.
that's the one.
Yep.
And, that's what he needed, how far it was gonna be off the road and into the park.
Yeah, and that's an improved surface, right?
Approved? Or-
Improved, so it's
Improved.
paved.
I'll tell him that it's paved. That
Paved.
may be a little stumbling block, but that's what I'll tell him.
Yeah.
That we need to have it paved so we can maintain it
Right.
in the winter. So, I'll get that
I
off.
did shoot an email again to
Saw that to them.
National Grid for the 4th time, because they've gotta also, buy off on the plan where we had the surveyor measure the distance from the sidewalk to the bottom of the power lines. So that all had been done by Reggie's surveyor.
Mhm.
We provided that to National Grid last year. I probably sent 3 or 4 reminder emails, and I haven't had heard anything back from them, so I'll keep pestering them.
All right, any other comments on the sidewalk? All right, next I had the Corning Farm Riverfront easement, but we don't really have, anything to talk about right now. Reggie Morrow was gonna come to our meeting, but I think we have to have some, other, discussions before we can talk directly to Reggie, so we may have some discussions on that, non-private after, or non-public rather after. Then winter fishing derby.
All right, so it's a go. I have contacted, fire chief and the police chief, so they both know that it's going to happen. Fire chief said his, on-duty guys might come down and check it out. I asked if we could have a fire pit on the ice, and they allowed that. So as long as we have a contained fire pit, we can have a little fire out there. That way we won't be putting any wood into the pond, although kids are throwing all kinds of, there's all kinds of branches out there. So
February 22nd, is that
February
correct?
22nd, 9 to noon, I think is, times. We could go a little longer for fishing, but the contest definitely ends at noon, so that just, we have to stop keeping track at that point.
What time do you need us there? 7:30?
5 o'clock in the morning, probably.
0400.
That's not a problem.
8 o'clock maybe, there's not gonna, there shouldn't be that much setup, I don't know, I guess we'll probably need to do registration somewhere, with a table or something.
So I got a folding card table I can bring up, one of those plastic.
Okay, I'll print up some registration forms like I did for the other one.
Take pictures for the town report for next year. Take pictures.
Oh, we'll take pictures.
Yeah, and do we want to, set up like on the table, I can bring like a stove so we can make hot chocolate and stuff, or a little grill if we want to do hot dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I don't know how many people are gonna come, right? And I don't know how busy, so how busy we'll be with trying to, how many people will come knowing what to do versus had to be taught how to do stuff, right? So, we could be quite busy just instructing people on how to ice fish, or we could not be, I don't know, but hot chocolate wouldn't be a bad thing, do you know what I mean? Especially if there's no flags. Hopefully there will be some flags. I've caught some bluegill there jigging with, a jigging rod and some small lures with worms. I haven't caught a lot of fish. I'm not done canvassing the whole pond yet. That I'm gonna continue doing that. There's one or two areas I still have to, so I'm gonna try setting up tip-ups with worms, because there's a lot of, bluegill or, sunfish in there. So if we can catch sunfish on the tip-ups, that'd be great. So your call on whether you think we should do hot chocolate. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, we can set up the hot chocolate, I mean, just for
I'll
us.
bring my stereo set up too. My wireless speaker does music impact fishing.
Well, it's what music attracts fish is what you
Yes.
need.
To think of the opposite.
So, no Grateful Dead fish, stuff going on. So, you could bring that if you'd like. What was I gonna say? I'm gonna get a bunch of bait, and like a gift certificate to Granite State or something like that for the winter.
And you've also had a couple community volunteers that said they would be willing to help out.
Yes, I'm gonna reach out to them this week. There were 2 guys on Facebook from my post, or Jason's post, a little while ago. Oh, actually, it was me, I posted a picture of ice fishing or something. So, there's 2 guys from there, and I've got a couple of friends that have a number of tip-ups that might come to help. as well.
Okay, yeah, and I've got a bunch, and then, Harry, you're gonna be available to help out too, right?
Yes,
And, Fred?
yes.
So we got, four,
Yeah,
five
I'll
of
go.
us.
Okay.
Joan, of course.
I'll
you're
be
always-
away.
So I have 29 tip-ups, I
We wanna
think.
do donuts
I've got
with
like a
a
dozen.
Cooper out in the middle of the pond.
Say that again?
Wanna do donuts with a
With the Mini Cooper.
Mini Cooper.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
it'll be home. Give me the keys.
Well,
I was looking forward to doing
the
that.
Mini Cooper's not going with you, right? So we can still take that.
I'll give you the keys.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how much snow we get, walking could be a little bit challenging, but we'll see how it is.
So do we need to bring one of your sleds to break a trail, or?
That won't be, if you're with the kids out there, they'll
We'll
break.
get Tony Rosa to plow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, anyways, it should be good. After the snowstorm and everything, I'll make sure I've got a good handle
We'll
on it.
figure
But
it out. So it sounds like between the two of us, I don't know if you guys have supplies, but we could have 40 tip-ups, right? We're probably not gonna have more kids than that, you assume with a
Right.
couple holes per kid.
the more, yeah, right. I have no idea how many people come, so I'm gonna take Jason's flyer, I don't know if you wanna doctor it up at all,
Yep.
but I'm gonna send it to, the Litchfield schools and, St. Francis, tomorrow.
Speaking of St. Francis.
Yeah.
Why don't you pass that down to George? I already did talk to St. Francis,
Great.
and, Jason, not Jacob.
We're gonna have kids showing up at 8 o'clock, though.
Yeah. So, I don't know how many kids are gonna show up from St. Francis or not, but he's already sent that out,
Okay,
okay?
so the derby starts at 8. That's okay. So,
Harry, you gotta be there at
so, we,
0600.
yeah, so,
Get those St. Francis
Set-
kids straightened
so-
out.
we'll be there at 7 o'clock to,
Yeah.
To get
that
set
sounds-
up.
That sounds
And-
good.
I have a little pop-up that I'll, set up. It's a little 3-man.
With a heater in it.
All right, so, do we wanna make a motion to, cover supplies for George for the bait and, the prizes and stuff? How much you think, $100?
$100.
I make a motion that, we cover George for the bait and whatever
Accessories.
other materials he needs
And prizes.
to not exceed 125.
Say 150.
150.
150.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Second it.
And we could probably use the fishing derby funds for that too, right?
Well, that's different, I think. Right.
Yes.
All right, whatever, we'll cover it. So, Harry has a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Joan seconds? So, we're authorizing George to spend up to $150 in supplies and whatever else is needed to support the ice fishing derby.
Worms.
You need to vote on it.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye, the motion carries 600.
And it won't even come close to that, but, it's good to
Yeah.
have a safety valve.
George, do the kids have to bring anything?
No,
No.
I'm not an ice fisherman. Are all of them tip-ups, or do some drop a line?
Jigging rods.
so do you guys have any you have
I
a,
have a few jigging
I'm
rods.
gonna bring them.
okay. So I think I have 5 jigging rods. So, you can stand over a hole and jig, and I have a flasher. Do you guys have a fish finder, or?
Okay.
It's a device that allows you to see the depth of the water, and you can see fish in the water column, and you can see your lure moving up and down, and if a fish comes in. So it's like a little video game. It's like, an ancient video game, but, so we will give demonstrations, and kids can do that too.
Is that on the line when you're,
No, it's a separate,
It shows your line.
it's a separate unit that sits on the ice, and it's a circular thing.
Bluetooth?
No, it's,
Okay.
it's if you look up like a Vexlar or a Mercom flasher,
Okay, all right.
Anyways, so we'll give instructions for kids on how to do that. It's very easy to do, and kids, you can see it happening, so.
So,
Go ahead.
Sorry, Harry, so someone raised a question on one of the posts about do the kids have to bring anything? So the answer is no.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Just dress
Yeah,
appropriately.
yeah, dress warm.
Yeah.
And waterproof shoes.
And the only other, when we're talking to the kids, what you wanna try to impress on them, if they see a flag, okay, is to yell out flag, and you'll have a stampede probably over there, but we'll deal with that.
Right, yeah. So we're gonna have to give each kid, a tip
Designated.
up.
We can
then we'll
designate them
Designated
holes. And-
fishing area.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll have enough of us there to
Spread out.
corral
We'll
them.
spread out.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion on the fishing derby?
So you're gonna have to change your flyer to be 8 AM.
I guess so.
Could you do that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we give the St. Francis kids a head start.
It's fine.
Sun up.
It's perfectly fine. Okay.
All right, next item we have is DeRocher Farm update. Jason, you go.
Yeah, real quick on that. We got the approval last month. We went to get the deed. Our lawyer went out on paternity leave. Our lawyer is back this week, and I'll check back in to see if that's moving forward. It's gotta go quick now, because the clock is running.
Again.
Yep.
Still.
So, I guess what are the next steps once we get the deed?
Once the deed is done, we provide a copy of the deed to the DeRochers and then the two grant agencies. They then review the deed. It could take a month for them to review the deed just to make sure everything is in order. And then once the deed everybody signs off on the deed, essentially, we can then start moving toward closing.
Well, then we have to record the deed in the plan.
Yeah, there's all the stuff that's related to, closing on the property and recording the plan also has to be done. We also have to, there's a few more checklist items that we've got to go through with the state. We have to have a stewardship plan for the property. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal to put together, probably 10 pages or so, that just kind of details, the process, the contacts, and then our intended, plan for maintaining the property. So it'd be property checks every 6 months. There needs to be a report that goes to the state, like a one-pager checklist that needs to go to the state every year, things like that. So we gotta work on that next. Once we get the, deed done, then we'll probably have like, a little bit of a 1 month breathing period. So I'm hoping we get the deed done within the next couple of weeks. And then in March, we can take care of the stewardship plan. By that time, the comments will come back from the state, and the whole package should be able to be put together.
So
Now-
it's more for kind of checklist items at this point, right? There's no other major gates for approvals and stuff?
Nope, there's no other,
But the deed is specifying the boundaries and is it specifying the driveways?
yep,
Okay, so
deed's gonna specify all that stuff.
hopefully there'll be.
Or the, either in the deed or in the documents,
The deed will have to reference the plan number, so. Okay, I'm just hoping everything gets signed. Okay,
All right, any other discussion on the DeRochers? All right, next is our summer intern. So we've got a few applicants for that. I guess we gotta figure out the next steps to select a candidate. I think we should bring multiple candidates in for an interview,
Good, I
right?
was
Just
hoping
because,
you'd say
even if we select a candidate, it's not like we're offering them $100 million, so.
no, but you need to see them in person. The resumes were pretty, I printed out two of them, they were pretty good,
Yep,
but you need to talk to them in person.
yeah. So is that something we have to do in public, or is that something, a separate session that we can,
I think it has to
we
be
can have for
public.
That's a good question. I did, we do have a non-public after tonight, if we wanna just like discuss some of that.
Yeah, we have to have a non-public
you
anyways,
can-
so.
When you interview them, that's a question, should it be in public?
I don't think so. I
don't think so.
don't know.
I don't think so.
No.
I've never seen an interview for any other town.
It's not like they're becoming a member of the board.
Yeah, and it's not
And-
even a town employee, right? This is through,
Oh.
they're gonna be, employed by the NHCC.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it should be public, personally, but.
I agree.
So we do need to, pass this through the Board of Selectmen though, so we'll have to, I guess we just need to get a one-pager together for that, and we should probably
What,
present it at one of the
before they
next
come in?
meetings.
Before,
I think it's before we extend probably before we extend an offer, right, just to make sure.
or
everybody's in
before we
agreement.
even interview them, because the selectmen even know, well, John was here, but do the selectmen know that we're even in this process?
They do,
They do?
yeah.
Okay.
John brought them up to date on
Okay,
that.
good.
You know, I find it interesting, out of the 4 candidates, I was a little surprised at, I don't know if, that, environmental studies was not high on that list, which was a little,
That was
Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, there's two of
Well.
them that definitely had it.
But we can talk about
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
in
Well,
the
we wouldn't mention
non-public,
any
right?
names,
Yeah.
gee, I guess I only saw one.
Yeah, and I mean, we gotta,
Yeah, okay, fine.
figure out what we want the position to do too, right?
Right.
Cause we're,
And when we talk to them, we might
Have a list,
have a match, you know, if we get someone that just got like a lot of energy, you know.
but we need to have a list when we talk to them.
yeah,
about
cause
what we want.
I think we all agree that the focus of this position is really more to, get like, maps updated, get our historical properties documented and doing a lot of that sort of stuff, which
Yep.
might not
No, but
could be a different skill sets that are involved, but,
Posting some stuff too.
Yep.
yeah.
Research, marketing, QR codes.
Oh, speaking of QR, I'll ask later.
All right, any other discussion there? All right, next item is community gardens, so, there's a few things for this. Once I think what we really need is a committee, which we have some members on that are, folks that are current gardeners there, that have plots there, that have been taking up some roles there. So I think we have to kind of formalize a committee and make that so they can kind of manage that themselves. Managing that themselves, I mean, taking care of the plot assignments and being a central contact to us, letting us know what support they need from us. So I'll work with them to get that organized. And then we gotta figure out our plan for how we're gonna support the garden. So the big thing being the water supply.
Right.
So I know George has been doing a lot of work on that. We've acquired a pump, a solar panel, and some other stuff.
Yeah, and do we move the storage shed that is sitting here doing nothing down there to at least
You
maybe?
have to
yeah.
ask the selectmen first.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my next thing, so, since I'm gonna go in, well, I have something to mention later, but one of us should go and ask the selectmen if we can move the shed. Cause if we were to be able to move the shed, then we can maybe put the solar panel on the shed, or maybe store the battery in the shed, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. And I think we're also gonna need, to talk to the Board of Selectmen, we'll probably have to ask support for the highway to help move it, right? See if we can
Yes.
get their forklift and.
Right.
I don't know if they have a better trailer than we have to move it, but that'd be a good thing to request.
Yeah, I took the measurements, I don't know if I have them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that big, right? It's 8 by 10 or something.
Might fit on your snowmobile trailer.
Yeah,
And they have, the garden committee has a group email. Do you have that?
Yeah, they have a Facebook page set up, so. So that'd be good. And then, So the other piece for that is we have, basically what there's 10 full-size plots that are there, you know, some of them can be cut in half, so we could probably support like 14 gardeners there, but if we we might need to extend the area a little bit more too, so we might need to have to recruit some support for rototilling and prepping the land for that. I mean, we won't know that for another month or two, but we might have to see if we can recruit someone to help us with that again.
So, sorry, I was looking for that information. So you're saying we might have more people that want plots?
Yeah, there's definitely good interest there. I think pretty much everybody who's was there last year wants to continue again, and we've had a lot of interest for, I mean, in that Facebook group, there's quite a few members now, and a lot of people have expressed interest in wanting to do that. So, I mean, that'd be great if we can get 20 people in there. I mean, that's the purpose for it, right? But,
So is the plan to, basically, put more plots, you know, like a roadway width away, sort of where we did this soil
yeah,
improvement
if you
project?
we did that test soil garden thing to
Yeah.
try to improve the soil. The new plots would go there, so
Okay,
we'd have
perfect, yep,
you know, whatever it is, the 20 feet
Mhm.
running between the spaces so people can drive between them.
okay.
All right, next up is the UNH lecture for the plants for birds. Harry?
Yeah. The lady that we had talked to apparently has taken a year off. So we've got it scheduled for March 13th at 7 o'clock.
2025?
2026 now.
No, it's on 2025.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
And it's on March 13th. And it's called Birdscaping, Landscaping for Birds. And I've signed all the paperwork and dealt with the fire station. So if you guys want to send out something in social
Yeah.
media,
Do we have the community room reserved
Yes,
for that?
we do.
Okay.
What time,
that was another treat also. So that's, we won't go into
You
that.
said March,
for one.
March,
Pardon?
March 13th, is that what you said?
March 13th, which is
Thursday,
I believe it's a Thursday.
correct, Thursday.
Yeah,
And what was the
Thursday
time?
night.
Time?
The time?
The time?
7 to 9.
Thank you. And it won't be the same lady? She's taking a year off?
Yeah, her name is Stacy, and I'll spell her last name. It's SCACCI, and she's out of Londonderry.
Okay.
Good.
So
Yeah, that was very well received, the pollinator garden talk we had last year, so
Yes.
hopefully it'll be good too, but we got to get some.
What's this one, what's the title of it again? Birds?
it's called
Lands-
Birdscaping, Landscaping for the Birds.
Okay.
This Ruth that was last
Catchy.
year developed the program, and I was a little surprised when they said that she took a year off, so. And she was out of Henniker, I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
Yeah, so. Anyway, that's all set.
And is there a fee associated with that, Harry?
Pardon?
Is there a fee that we have to pay?
Yes. I'm sorry. $100.
And she must be a master gardener, is that the case? Is
Pardon?
she a master gardener,
Yes,
done the master gardener program?
Yes, she is.
So I make a motion to approve the $100 to support the Plants for Birds talk by the UNH extension.
I'll second. Oh, did you make the motion?
I made the motion.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 600.
We're burning through our money tonight. Fish, birds,
Birds, plants?
supplies.
It's all right. We have, that's only speaks for half our budget. All right, Harry, anything else on that?
On that particular subject, no.
Okay, well, thanks for getting that one going.
That's great.
And then, the next item is yours as well, Let's Go Fishing Program.
Yeah, let me give you a quick, brief history. What my intent started out to be is working with St. Francis, who always has this Let's Go Fishing program that's supplied by the state. So I contacted the person that I worked with last year, and lo and behold, she, and it happened to be a she, no longer works at St. Francis. So, she gave me some other contacts. So what we decided is that, I went up, okay, what we decided is that on May 10th, St. Francis is gonna go over to Darrell Pond, from about 12 to 3 for this Let's Go Fishing program. Is everybody familiar with that program at all?
You've gone over, you've
Yep.
gone over it
Yep.
a few times.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the state supplies everything. The rods, the reels, the bait, some brochures, and we'll probably have some instructors along with it. Now, I set up April 19th for Litchfield, and I said the Litchfield Conservation would sponsor the April 19th Let's Go Fishing program, which is a Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused. There's a couple dates that you threw out there. April, I thought I heard of May 11th.
Okay, St. Francis is coming over to use Darrell Pond on May 10th,
Oh, okay.
okay? And I wanted to at least get that program going here in Litchfield, okay? So I picked April 19th to use over at Darrell Pond, and that's from about 10 to 3. And what the plan is that we'd have maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half of some basic instruction for the kids, since they've never seen the program over here, okay? So, that's the plan. I went in front of the Recreation Committee and got their okay to use Darrell Pond. And I thought I could use the building, but apparently if you use the building, you've got to come up with some sort of insurance waiver. Which kind?
That's usually for organizations that are using it. I think since we're a town organization, I didn't know if this same would apply to us.
Well, my thought was that if it rained, I wanted someplace else, to do it, at least the class part of it. So there's a pavilion out there that we can go underneath.
They have the pavilion in the softball fields. Is that what
Yes.
you're- So can we reserve that? Is that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we can use that.
Yeah, but if it's cold and rainy, it would be nice to get inside the building.
Pardon?
If it's cold and rainy, it would be good to get inside the building, and I think
Yeah,
that
but
Matt's right.
they wanted an insurance
Who,
waiver.
recreation or who? Who?
Huh?
Who wanted?
The Recreation Committee.
I don't think I think Matt's right. That doesn't apply to town department.
Function.
But
Yeah, I
if
mean,
if
it'd
a
be
third
like
party
for-
was
for-
going
Yeah.
in there, then it would apply to them.
Well,
Check that.
maybe I
Well,
confused them.
Yeah, we can clarify
Double check
that with
that.
them. But for this, so you're saying April 19th, so be sponsored by us. So you saying we'd be teaching it? It wouldn't be part of the state's Let's Go Fishing, right?
Oh, no, it's part of it's the state.
Okay, so they would bring the
Yeah,
instructors and
we would bring the
equipment?
instructors, which
Okay.
I'm one of them, and would bring all the supplies and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Okay? I was hoping John Burnell would be here because the only other thing, unless you guys can come up with something, is that I need some sort of sign-up sheet that I have access to so I can figure out how many,
And tell the state how many people, and tell the
how
state
many
how many
people are gonna show up,
Yeah.
okay? So,
So we can contact, John next week when he's back. That should be something pretty simple for him to
yeah,
put
and I
together.
I need to have access. I'd like to limit it to 30 people. And then, limit it to, last sign up would be on April 12th. Because that would give me a week to go to Concord and get all the
Yep.
stuff I need and everything else. It's a good program, and we did it at Darapon last year, and it rained, and that it had bothered the adults, it didn't bother the kids. They were out there having a hell of a time, you know, so.
Yeah, that sounds good. So Harry, can you just put together, like, just put a quick email together for just what exactly you need on that form? You know, is it, so
Yeah.
John can put it, your kids' names and the information that the state's
Ages.
gonna need for the program.
I talked to St. Francis, cause they have an after school activities form. And, I thought I'd go to the principal of the grammar school, and I said, nah, don't wanna limit it to just the kids in school, you know, give everybody.
Yeah, no, I think it's
okay?
a good thing.
So-
We'll probably wanna promote it through the schools, right? Put
Yeah.
out flyers and stuff.
So, as
And
far
what's
as I
up
know, the form is very simple. I just need a name and an email address,
Okay.
okay? When we send out the information, there's no license required from the parents, okay? There's no equipment required, and, yeah, that's, and cross my fingers and hope to die it doesn't rain. But you want me to send you the email?
Yeah, just send it to the Conservation Commission
Okay,
email, cause John's on there. And, we can work with him to get, just make sure we're capturing the right information, that's all.
okay, and, if we can do it like the beginning of March, you know, send that information out and, see what happens, see how many participants we got.
Yeah, it sounds good. And what support do you need from us?
Other than helping with the computer.
Well, can I come and learn to fish?
Pardon?
Can I come and learn to fish?
You betcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, adults are,
Gotta fill out the form.
yeah. We,
Put my age in.
we had a knife fishing, info over at St. Francis. And what was shocking to me now is the parents showed up, and we thought that maybe the kids would ask more questions. But the parents were asking more questions on, well, what happens if you catch it? You know, how do you handle it? And all that sort of stuff. Oh, I didn't know that. So it was a little surprising. But so if it turns out to be, you know, an active participation, we'll do it again next year. And-
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a good program.
Yeah.
And I'll send the email to, let's see, yeah, I'll send it to Litchfield Conservation.
Yeah, that'd be the best. And then we can follow up with, John.
Okay,
Anything else on that?
not that I can think of.
All right, then, moving on to other business, property checks and maintenance. Joan, I know you've been out to Birch Street.
Yes, I went again, I went for the first time, and I tromped in with my boots, and that was difficult. The snow is like knee-deep out there. And then I went yesterday, at the end of Birch Street with my snowshoes, which, glad we don't have funniest home videos of me getting over the 4-foot bank, 'cause it was pretty humorous. But then I got in there with my snowshoes, and then there is, when you get to you go in and then there's an intersection, somebody had snowshoed through there, so that was good. And I ended up actually, now that I look at the map, half a mile in, and you come along the back of these houses on Birch Street, and then you can see Wilson's, it's Wilson's property that butts up to the houses on Birch Street. So you could see their buildings. So the next time I go out, and then when I did get half a mile out, that snowmobile had gone off that way, so I'll follow that next time, because now's the time to go when it's frozen, and then you can see all this wetland on the tax map, because that's where our property is, all that off to the right, to
Yeah, and
east.
that also connects up to the DeRocher property too.
Right, and then we could swing up, and it's definitely, I remember one May, after a fishing derby, Marion Godzik and I went out there and almost got carried away by mosquitoes, so now's the time to go. It was very nice out there, very quiet.
Yeah, it's a real pretty spot.
And in front of the middle school, they have flat trails that I guess the cross-country people have done, which are pretty nice. So a snowmobile had run through there, which would have been good for cross-country, except then somebody walked on it, so then it wasn't any good for cross-country. But that's a pretty nice place if you just want to take a quick walk. And you can walk through Stage Crossing to the library, because I met somebody who's on the board there, and they said, no problem, you can walk on the street to the library. So, that's all I know for now.
Anybody else been out to any of the properties? I did check Moore's Falls just up by the parking lot, just to see how it was doing and check on the poop bags and garbage and stuff. Everything was looking good.
Oh, somebody had posted on New Hampshire Birds, and I haven't been up there. Last week, there was a rare duck in the river at Moore's Falls. We usually go up to Manchester to see them, and there was one down Barrow's Goldeneye, so that, I didn't get down there to see it, but I will eventually. If it stays there. Go ahead.
I haven't been out this month, it's just been too
Yeah.
cold out.
Yeah, it's too
I was-
cold, and there's the snowbanks in front of all the
Yeah.
properties now. Can't
Well,
access
I
any
did
of
check
them.
out Morris Falls, and the property, the parking lot is kind of matted down. I mean, there's people still going in there. But I did check, I might check out Parker Park this weekend, might pull into the field.
I saw tracks, over at Parker Park.
Yeah, one set of tracks.
Pardon?
Kind of human or animal?
One set of tracks in there.
Yeah.
on the
What kind of tracks?
Well,
Vehicle.
car tracks and
Oh,
yeah,
oh, oh.
pulled in there. Before I forget, George, we invited St. Francis to the fishing derby too, okay?
May 18th.
Yeah,
Spring?
okay.
6 AM.
You don't even know what the sun looks like at 6:30 in the
Just going to bed.
Good night,
So-
Al.
Yeah, and so next month, I think we need to ramp up like ordering the fish and all that kind of stuff and
Oh,
get,
yeah.
get on the,
Yeah.
get that going.
We're doubling up this year.
Right, so I was
On
like
fish?
sick most of January, so I've kind of been like a vegetable, so I'm now, I've come out of my hole and I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I saw, which amazed me, was out in the backyard. I saw the biggest raccoon I'd ever seen.
He's got his winter coat on.
Pardon?
He's got his winter coat on,
Well, he had his winter coat on, and he was
Female, huh?
plodding along like, I don't know if he was sick,
Probably not, just looking for food.
what is
No,
it?
probably just looking for food.
Well, no, he was just like he was trudging someplace.
He was drunk?
No, he wasn't drunk, but he just crossed the property, but he kept going, but you would have expected him to move a lot faster. But he was just plodding along, but it was the biggest thing I'd ever seen.
The coyotes will be happy.
Yep.
And don't forget, it's skunk breeding season when you walk up your driveways. Watch out for the skunks.
Oh, good to know. All right, anything else on the properties?
One thing on Talarico, as I'm looking at you thinking, Talarico, they put Luke Hannon was out there, our consulting engineer, and they were putting the water pipe in yesterday. He was watching them, make sure they got it in
They
correctly.
got some of the new culverts in there too. I've taken pictures of them.
Oh, okay.
Well, they've been putting in water pipe for a while, right? Wait, oh, you're talking about the culvert?
No, the water pipe, they had take off the frosted surface and then dig down
Yeah.
and put the water pipe.
They got a fire hydrant out there sticking about 4 feet in the air.
I still haven't had the nerve to walk by and see it, I just don't think I can handle it.
I go down there every Saturday.
Good. Make sure they don't get into those, what are the big bushes that we said, the 1,000 feet of bushes?
Oh, Mount Laurel.
Mountain laurel. I think they're staying away from
There's
Yeah, they're
some,
way away from
they,
the big
there's some
patch
still there.
around the corner.
it. Okay.
All right, moving on to member input. Joan?
Oh, I do have some things here. As I was cleaning, I have, Marjorie Pitcher was a longtime member that's been gone for quite a while, but I do have some documents that she created, and I'll give them to you, see if there's anything you want to post at Morris Falls. I have a dated bird and animal checklist from, it goes 1988 to 2005, so that could probably be updated. And I did send Matt the, Parker Park was named for Mr. and Mrs. Freeling Tufts Parker. And also at Parker Park, a good one would be the smell of skunk cabbage is in the air. To hang up there.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then,
Except for our intern.
Yeah, and for posting somewhere, we got our links to the
well,
QR
the,
code.
the skunk cabbage would be good because one of the selectmen that went down there and saw that, and she didn't even know, I shouldn't say she, didn't know what skunk cabbage was. And then Michael had given me, these turtle nesting habitat projects that New Hampshire Wildlife Federation is doing, but it appears that they're looking for sites, but they're also looking for quite a large, like $500 to $700 a site, or $250 to $400 for a different thing for 10 to 20 yards of sand and delivery fees for the truck and driver. So they're not just looking for a site. You could pass this over to Matt, and you could have it too.
So they want to improve a nesting site and
I've,
monitor it?
I've seen one in, when I went
Pay for it?
to Brentwood, on a property there, I forget who owned the property, if it was municipal or not, but they have a big area, when they wouldn't even let you walk over there, like an area the size of this room that they built for turtle nesting
Designated.
area, sandy site.
We can put it in the budget for next year.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Next to the bat house.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these.
See what we got here.
Thanks.
Good idea for next year's budget, yeah. I have one of these papers home, so you want that one?
Maybe if the price is X, maybe we should make a bunch of them.
Price of eggs.
All right,
I was
Jason,
giving
did
that
you
one
have it?
to Jason, everybody I think has one of those.
I'm sorry?
I was giving that pamphlet to Jason.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. The only thing I have, Matt, is I think it's our month to speak in front of the Board of Selectmen.
oh, I haven't seen any,
For the what, for what? For,
You mean Marches or February?
I think it's February,
There's only
Do
one more
what?
meeting on the 24th.
and you're gonna be gone.
yeah. I haven't received any notifications for that. It's,
But what's it for? The budget's over.
I think just looking for general updates from the
Oh.
commissions.
Once a month, they're having a department, board come in and give a 10-minute update.
Okay.
I thought ours was February. I haven't seen anything, any
Yeah,
communication
I'll
on it
have
at
to,
all.
look. I figured they would have notified us if they wanted us on the agenda.
It sounds like, so you're gonna be in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, I think I'm in New Orleans that week.
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have put the
Well,
Liberty
Work,
Utilities
Harry,
guy.
work.
Yeah,
Well,
You don't,
that's your story and you're sticking to it, right?
I
Based-
go
based-
down there enough.
based upon my member input, I might be, at that meeting, but I was hoping to get in and out, so I don't, you know. Plus, I'm just an alternate, I don't think I can speak.
Yeah,
you are.
I mean,
He's just a
I think we can probably request being on a,
One in April, one in
have it shifted out to a separate
Sure,
meeting.
okay,
It's not like we don't talk to the Board of Selectmen enough for stuff.
okay.
Alter.
Slam.
All right, yeah, I'll double check on that,
We
but
need to try to promote you. I'll demote myself and you can.
well, actually, that's another item for discussion. We have, next month, right? What's our
No,
process
we have,
for?
you have to decide, there's two people, I think you and Jason are 2025, right there on that paper.
Yeah, yeah,
So you have to decide if you want to stay on, and then it has to be voted by the board.
Going to be a selectman.
yeah, so, I guess, I'm really, I just ignored this process when it came up, or didn't listen when it came up previously, but yeah, we have, myself, Jason, and Diane, our terms are, up next month, so.
Diane, I thought she was 27 when
No,
she went to an
Diane,
alternate.
Diane was supposed to be up in 25.
Oh.
Oh, no, I guess not. I thought the information.
Because when
I
she went
had-
to an alternate, I think her term changed.
Oh, so she extended there. So, yeah, Jason and I are up, so. So do we have to vote on if you want to keep us in, if we're willing to stay?
I'll make a motion that we keep, as long as you both are willing to stay, of course you would be, right? To let the selectmen know that Jason and, I'll make a motion that Jason and Matt should be reappointed, that the commission approves that they should be reappointed
Second it.
to the Board of Select.
All right,
Have a vote.
any discussion?
George?
No discussion, I think they're doing a fine job, I think they're shielding the rest of us from,
All right, so all those in favor, I think we have to abstain,
yes,
right?
yeah, so,
I'm gonna vote.
I vote for Jason anyways.
Everybody always upstage, just vote.
Then in March would be when we elect officers, after the town meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it says here on the website that Diane is expiring in March as well.
Oh,
yeah, so I think the information was
I
wrong
think it's
here,
a
but,
moot point, though.
yeah, I think she's gonna be
She has higher-
moving on anyways.
higher aspirations.
oh, that's true.
So, yeah, actually, that brings up the point for the, I guess, the appointment of the positions for next month. If
Well,
people are interested, if they wanna
on a campaign.
put their hands up or whatever, I mean, I'm fine staying, or if anybody else wants to take over, I'm good with that too.
We have to decide what to do about Rob Grenier,
Yeah.
did you talk to him, or did anybody talk to him?
I've reached out to him a couple times through email and haven't, he heard back from him once.
Because I talked to Kim today, he was sworn in, and he was sworn in at the Board of Selectmen or at Town Clerk, so. I don't know. What do we do?
We had another person
That Matt answered.
this month, right?
Oh,
Matt?
the one, the young lady.
Yeah, I actually invited her to
Email?
the meeting tonight and didn't hear from her. Actually, she never responded back to the email that I sent her.
Okay.
Okay.
So we may have to do a little bit of recruiting in 2025.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's, you know, we might want to look at like one of the town events, maybe setting up a small booth or something to,
I think we can shake some trees and get a couple.
yeah, I don't think it'd be too
Probably.
too hard.
We change a sign out there, if I can reach it, from planning board to conservation commission. Members needed.
Because we have one, we only have
One
one
alternate.
alternate. And,
Well, we have two alternates, but we're gonna be losing one that we know of.
Yes.
But you can have.
Oh, no, we have two alternates,
on
because we have,
paper, we have three alternates.
we have three
Yes,
alternates, but we gotta
On
see
paper,
if
yeah.
We
Rob's
really
gonna.
only have one.
One, yeah.
Really, come on.
And we're allowed to have
I think,
lots of alternates, right?
yeah, lots of alternates.
All right, I'm sorry, we've stalled out. Harry, did you have anything else for, member input? All right, I don't have, anything else to add. Fred?
No. no.
George?
Yeah, so I have two things. So
No slideshow this month.
no slideshow, okay? I did go to FWM, which is the dock company in Hudson. So he's reached out to me a couple of times, so I went over and looked at their dock product, and it looked pretty good, and they are actually the lower bid out of all of them. And they manufacture the stuff right there, so if we do get the grant, we could just go there and, you know, or they, I don't know if they would deliver, or I could pick up the snowmobile trailer, but,
Did you go this, did you pass that by the selectmen?
yes, yeah, yeah, so we're all good to go if we do get the grant, you know, whatnot. So, I did that, was it last week? Last week.
Where are they in Hudson?
They're on, is it Executive Drive?
South Hudson?
South.
by-
South Hudson, yeah, so,
By Duncan's?
Down by the
it's
post-
across from,
Market basket?
PMA,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
PMA Academy.
Yeah.
So you know they're building some, they built some new apartment buildings that are like 5 stories, maybe 3 stories tall. There's a road there that used to go to the old Friary entrance.
Yeah.
So if you go in that Friary entrance, it starts to take a corner. They're on the corner there, probably where I used to play softball. Yeah.
They built a huge building back there.
Oh, there's another big building, yeah. So that's a
Warehouse, like
distribution. Yeah.
I think it's
I-
500,000
so-
square feet.
So at the
Ow.
Friary, where the old Friary used to be,
Yeah.
going there, and you could,
Yeah.
and that's where the big building is back there?
Well, there's a huge one off to the right, and then there's some small industrial buildings off to the left, and so
It's in really messed up.
I hadn't been on that road in a long time. But fun fact, I put a bunch of the landscaping into the buildings on the road that comes out near the Irving. Way back when that stuff was first
Back
built.
in the 80s?
Yeah, back in the 80s, yeah. Or late 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, item number 2. I received an email from Jeff Town, and then followed up from Chris as well on the, Chris Burns from the rec committee. They've been reached out to by some company, they have the product called Nano Bubbles, and they have these pumps, and they pump really small oxygen bubbles, and they oxygenate ponds or water, right? So they do it for water filtration, agriculture, they do ponds. Anyways, there's a contest that you can enter, and if your town wins, you get 5 free months of nano bubble technology pumping into your pond. I think they're just trying to drum up business, and by
Yeah, of
reaching
course.
out,
Customer list.
right,
Sounds
getting us,
pretty
but,
cool though. Is it air that they pump in, or is it actually
so they have
more
this,
oxygen?
well, I don't, they say oxygen, so I don't know if it's really oxygen or what they have, so,
Air.
but it's probably air, because they have a small little unit,
Yeah,
and so I don't know if you can use ozone generators. I
That'd
don't-
be cool.
Yeah.
Anything we can do to save Dara Pond, I think is,
And it said that some of the benefits are that it can add oxygen to a deeper level of the lake, which helps with the nitrate stuff. So, and it can prevent algae blooms and other things. So it wouldn't hurt if we were to win and get it. Now, I am on the docket. If we vote to say that I should apply for this, then I can go to the selectmen and ask if I can apply for free stuff for the town to make sure that it's blessed. Do you know what I mean? So
Yep.
we need to officially have a motion. I'll do that later. But
How do you enter the contest?
it's online. I have to fill out some form. Initially, they wanted a video, but now they don't. They waived the video requirement. I just have to fill out a form.
I don't know if anything that you do to the water would have to go to the state, I don't know. But, I mean, the process that you're going through is good for now, and then check with the state.
Right, so what happens is, they sell a unit that you can buy, and it looks like probably the size of like a home generator thing, and it's got a pump and it does its thing. Or you can buy a service where they show up with a trailer, and they hook up the trailer and they do the pumping in the trailer. So what, if we won, we would get 5 months of the trailer service, which would be
I
fine,
get it.
okay? So that seemed like a no-brainer.
Neat.
Yeah, no, it sounds
Have
good.
to
So,
check with
so
the-
what is the contest like? Is there things that, they're looking for besides a potential customer?
I didn't look at it that closely.
Where are they based out of?
They serve the Northeast. I'm not exactly sure where they're based out of. Hold on.
And what size?
The name of the company is Moliere, Kickstart Challenge.
Kickstart challenge, so they're
I think they're trying to
startup.
they're trying to get into the Northeast. So they're accepting submissions, and then the deadline is March 7th for the submissions. The candidates will be selected, top ones, March 7th through the 14th. Then they're gonna conduct interviews in March, April, get permitting. In May, they announce the winners. In June, they deploy the nano bubble pilot trailer.
And on the application, they must want to know how large or small your pond is.
Body of water?
I just assumed, I haven't really looked into this too much, I just assumed I would do it, but I wouldn't do it until I got permission to do it, so,
Yeah,
I don't know
Throw your name
everything.
in the hat and we'll see what happens.
Right.
yeah, I'm definitely in favor of
I,
that.
I,
Do it.
I quickly read up, I got this email yesterday. I
Okay.
quickly read up the, stuff this afternoon, saying that it was good for the pond and, all that, about the various things I said,
And to
so,
put in this application, there's no cost or
no cost at all, right.
We do have a member that's got a very high success rate in submitting for awards, so.
But this is a contest.
Yeah, but this is a contest, I win a lot of contests.
Okay.
That is right. Only thing, George, is I think you would have to talk to your buddies at the state. Just to, well,
Yeah.
like as Joan mentioned, just to make sure, A, we can do it, but, B, just to make sure it goes along with best management practices, like they
Sure.
were talking about, like you're going back and forth on whether or not we do the
Milfoil.
milfoil.
Yeah,
deal and-
yeah, I'm leaning towards we do the milfoil again, so, the milfoil, the nitrogen level, I think I said this at the last time, was actually lower when they did the sample this year than it was at the time that, Solitude, did the sample when they gave us the first quote. So whether Solitude doesn't care about the nitrogen level, and it just raised a red flag in my mind saying like, well, if the nitrogen level is high, maybe we shouldn't be doing it. So I need to reach out to the aquatic guy again.
So what do you need from us now?
Oh,
We need
So-
to,
yeah, so I'll make a motion that the Conservation Commission approves and supports us applying to win this nano bubble we applied to the Lake Rescue Kickstart Challenge.
I second that. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Sounds good. So
Can't
motion
hurt to
carries.
try. I mean, you can,
Yeah,
if
motion
it ends
carries
up that the
6-0-0.
state says no, you just like pull back at the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
minute. No-
Yeah.
Right,
no
and,
harm, no
I mean,
foul.
I mean, bubblers are running all over the, all over Winnipesaukee, right? Do you know what I mean?
They
Ice
are?
bubblers. So
Oh,
people,
ice
yeah.
bubblers.
people run bubblers, which,
So they don't
Keep their
freeze
docks
the
clear and
dock.
stuff.
so
Okay.
the docks don't freeze up. Right, so, now this is something different than that, but it's not too much different, I don't
So
think.
I was down in Florida last week, and we were staying in a, condo that had, multiple ponds around it, and they had a couple of fountains like we had talked
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
before. But it appeared that they had some sort of bubbler underneath the ground. So like there was, water bubbling up. It was not a fountain. It was definitely some sort of subsurface bubbler. And, yeah, so that kind of reminded me what you're talking about there. And water's like crystal clear. And
So
probably
you can see the
Clorox in it.
alligators.
Yeah, yeah. What else do they do?
Yeah, and so it does say that this adds oxygen, it's an oxygenator, but
If nothing else, it'd be better for the fish.
yeah, so they said it helps with nitrate levels, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. It's free if we win, so I thought it was a no-brainer.
Yeah,
And Rec Commission is all on board. They asked if if I needed their support, and I said, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think the selectmen are gonna give me a hard time, But I'll do the submission once I get, the word from those guys.
On that note, for my work, we're gearing up for a lot of MS4 programs that are gonna be, dealing with the new permit that's coming out. And there's phosphorus removal in the new permit. So more to come on that. That permit is not out yet, but there's more phosphorus removal
Okay,
in there.
I have another item. I just thought of this. When I was doing the reading for the nitrogen levels in the lake and everything, and one of the major components could be waterfowl. And one of the best deterrents for Canadian geese are, swan decoys. So I would like to buy 2 swan decoys and apply them.
Wait a minute. Do you know how many geese are going in there daily?
A couple hundred.
I've seen a few over there, and then they go over to Chase Brook at the old fishing derby part. I've seen a few, like 50 over there, but I don't know, I'm not too keen on disturbing, they don't have many places to go. They'll go to the river now because it's open water, and they'll go to cornfields, but,
But they don't go to Darrow right now,
no, they don't go to Darrow right now, I know. They go when it's open water.
open water.
Yeah.
But they could be the major contributor to the, the decline of the pond. So you have to decide,
Well,
what do you prioritize?
Well, because the phosphorus level was higher.
Phosphorus and nitrogen.
Nitrogen, that's, yeah. Well, that could be runoff too, we don't know that, could be runoff from lawn fertilizer and
Correct.
Farmland.
That's,
house.
I think that's gonna be a springtime thing that I'd like to start spearheading, that we go around and do some real education to all the abutters, to the, currently the town,
How hard is it to test for nitrogen and, well, you can test for nitrogen in the water, I don't know what the test is.
right, so the thing is there aren't any, tributaries,
Right,
okay? So, other than it being runoff. And we do have a tentative plan to do some testing, in the spring and in the future. We have to move forward with that, but, so it's something that, I think is, you know, when I go over there in the fall, and specifically it was spelt out in the Solitude, study, they said that the, nitrogen and I think maybe even phosphorus was high, nitrogen was high at that time, but they equated that due to the large number of, Canadian geese they saw on the pond at the time of the testing. So, I mean, and that test is on, and that write-up is in our folders, so I can show it to you, if you'd like. So,
Moving on.
Well, it's
well,
not, we're
do
not
we,
moving
do
on.
we,
need
do we
need a
wanna
motion.
try a decoy, or do we not wanna try a decoy? I would, well, so, I would vote for a decoy, personally, so, but,
I personally don't have a problem with it, but we need to just get a little plan in place
Okay.
on what we're gonna be doing
and,
at the pond, bounce it off the guys from the state.
yeah,
I had mentioned to you, we do this type of stuff at work. If we wanna get an expert pond restoration expert, get on the phone just to make sure that,
sure.
we're headed in the right direction. I can make that happen.
And the Solitude
Yeah,
study,
I
As
think,
opposed to shotgun.
I think
Yeah.
that would be
Okay,
a great,
gotcha,
action.
okay.
what, to have a plan?
Yeah, to talk to an expert, right, to get some advice so that we
Yes.
can start, we need to put together a plan, right? And part of
Right.
that is doing the research, so that's,
Yeah.
And because the Solitude plan, the Solitude comment was, you know, a spot check, and yes, I've seen a lot of geese there too, but I wanna know what's happening with the runoff too, and I agreed that you're educating the people around there is a great idea,
Right,
so.
yeah, I wanna do it in this most non-confrontational manner as possible,
Right.
you know what I mean? Cause it's all just, you know, it is what it is. And I was just told that, I am on the agenda for the selectmen's now, meeting for February 24th. Okay?
are the geese broken or are the magnetic fields shifting or something? Cause see geese flying east-west
No,
all
I
the time.
have-
I never see them flying north and south. They're always
Well,
east and
there's
west.
some resident geese and there's migratory geese, so there's both around, cause I have them every morning and night going back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
Put out a sign,
This way south,
do not land here. Land at a Londonderry pond.
No geese allowed.
No, just a no pooping sign.
and no pooping sign. like the
Okay,
dogs.
all right, I'm done.
All right, sorry, okay, so, approval of meeting minutes?
I did read them.
Forgot to-
Yeah, I didn't have any comments.
I actually read them, and I didn't have any comments either.
Joan, are you good with it?
I fortunately didn't read them, so, but go ahead if nobody had any problem with them.
All right, so I vote to approve the January meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, Matt made the motion, Harry seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain, just because I
All
didn't.
right, motion carries 5-0-1.
And before you go to the next meeting, do we have to vote on that New Hampshire Society protection for New Hampshire forests?
Oh, yeah, we probably should. So this is, just correct me if I'm wrong, but we do a donation usually every
Well, it's a
year.
renewal to be a member,
Renewal to be a member for,
$75.
And we will also have to pay our Conservation Commission dues at some point in
I
time.
think I may have submitted those. Because I did ask did I have to wait till after town meeting, and she said no, but I'll check, make sure I did submit them.
all right, so, I make, unless there, well, we can have a discussion after, but I make a motion to approve our dues for the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions. That's the one that we're submitting.
How much?
The New Hampshire Association's like 500, I think. I think I submitted it already.
For that, for 500, as well as for our dues for the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forest, which is a $75 due for that.
So how much we,
So 575 total for,
It's in the budget.
yeah, it's all part of our approved budget, so it's 575 in total.
I'll second it.
500 for the ACC and $75 for the forest fund. All right, so,
I second it.
so I made the motion, Harry seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, motion carries 600. All right, then, next item we have is for our next meeting, which is, planned for, March 6th.
You here, George? March 6th?
Yes.
All right, and, any other discussion before we make a motion to go into non-public? All right, so I make a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91-A:3D. It's for the consideration and acquisition of, for the sale or lease of, real or personal property.
Check the latest agenda. Okay, we actually have another one per RSA 91A:3, hiring of any person.
Public employee.
I'm confused.
There's two
So-
There's two.
different reasons.
We have two things to
Oh.
go into a non-public. One
Oh.
is to discuss I assume that's the intern.
Yes.
And then, just for the general non-public where we have to talk about, property purchases and leases and whatever.
I'll second it.
All right,
Roll call.
any discussion? All right, roll call vote. Joan?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Harry?
Yes.
Matt, I'm a yes.
Yes.
Fred? And George?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Litchfield. Time is 8:20 and we're gonna move into our non-public session now. We'll come out of non-public just to adjourn. Thank you.